Right now, the atmosphere over the United States is not calming down. It is reloading. And if you live anywhere from the Midwest to the East Coast, the next 7 days could decide whether this turns into a minor snow stretch or a multi-storm winter barrage that keeps piling up before anything has time to melt. This is happening immediately after one of the most intense blizzards the Northeast has seen in at least a decade. In some areas, snowfall totals pushed close to 40 inches. Entire neighborhoods were buried. Roads disappeared. Visibility dropped to near zero. Winds screamed through coastal towns. And before the snowpack has even had a chance to settle, the pattern is lining up again. Let's talk about what just happened because it matters for what comes next. That nor'easter was not just another winter storm. Parts of Long Island saw well over 2 feet of snow. Widespread 20 to 30-inch totals stretched from New York City east toward Montauk. Near Providence, snowfall approached 38 inches, surpassing the legendary blizzard of 1978 in that city. Boston's southern suburbs were hammered. Plymouth dealt with brutal wind-driven snow. For some communities, this storm overperformed expectations. For others, it shifted slightly. That's how high-end winter systems behave. Small track differences, massive outcome changes. And that detail is critical, because the jet stream has now carved a deep trough along the east coast, allowing Arctic air to spill south out of Canada. This morning, that cold has reached deep into the southeast. Georgia is colder than normal. Even parts of Florida are feeling it. The blizzard itself has lifted into Atlantic Canada, but the atmospheric setup behind it is still active. This is not a one-and-done pattern. Over the next several days, we transition into fast west-to-east flow across much of the country. That sounds harmless. It isn't. Embedded within that flow are small but important dips in the jet stream. And those dips will spawn Alberta Clippers, fast-moving snow systems diving southeast toward the Great Lakes and the Northeast. On their own, clippers are usually light to moderate events. But when you stack multiple waves back-to-back, snowpack builds. Travel issues multiply, and the ground never really recovers. The first of these systems is already organizing across the upper Midwest. Snow will spread across Wisconsin, Michigan, and northern Illinois. Some moderate bursts are likely in the upper peninsula of Michigan. As it slides southeast tonight, it broadens slightly. By Wednesday morning, light to moderate snow spreads into the Ohio Valley and the Northeast. Most areas will see 1 to 3 inches. But downwind of Lake Erie and Lake Ontario, localized 3 to 6 inch totals are possible. Lake enhancement can squeeze more out of these systems than you expect. New England could pick up a few more inches as well. Not a blockbuster, but enough to refresh the snowpack and create slick travel again. And that's just wave 1. Meanwhile, a powerful atmospheric river is slamming into the Pacific Northwest. Heavy rain is soaking coastal Northern California and western Oregon. Heavy mountain snow is piling up at elevation. And that Pacific energy doesn't stay out west. It crosses the Rockies and helps fuel a stronger storm in the central United States later this week. By Thursday, a more organized system develops. Snow spreads from parts of the northern plains into the Midwest and Ohio Valley. But here's where the pattern becomes volatile. South of the storm track, warm moist air surges north from the Gulf of Mexico. That clash zone sets up across parts of the Tennessee Valley and Deep South. The Storm Prediction Center is already monitoring this area for severe weather potential. Damaging winds are possible. An isolated tornado cannot be ruled out. Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and southeastern Tennessee need to pay attention. Heavy snow to the north. Severe thunderstorms to the south. That is a highly dynamic setup. On the colder side of the system, accumulating snow is likely from Maryland through New Jersey, Long Island, and into southern New England. This is not a classic nor'easter, but it could add several more inches on top of what just fell. And here's the key. Temperatures remain below average. That means very little melting. Snowpack continues to build. Now let's fast forward. As we approach the end of February, another clipper may slide through northern New England, reinforcing cold air. Arctic high pressure builds in behind it. And then we flip the calendar into early March, where things could escalate. Long-range guidance is hinting at something more significant during the first few days of March. Some model solutions show a broad area of snow, sleet, and freezing rain developing from Iowa into Illinois, Indiana, and Kentucky, then intensifying as it tracks toward the Ohio Valley and the Northeast. Now here's where uncertainty becomes important. Small changes in track will dramatically change who sees heavy snow and who sees messy mixed precipitation. But the signal for a larger system is there, and forecasters are watching it closely. The Climate Prediction Center has already highlighted the Northeast with an elevated risk for heavy snowfall during the early March window. That tells you this isn't random noise in the models. There is pattern support. If this verifies, parts of the Midwest and Northeast could deal with yet another significant winter event, just days after multiple snow rounds. Snow totals over the next week will vary widely. The northern plains and upper Midwest will likely see several inches in spots, especially Wisconsin, Iowa, and the Dakotas. The Northeast picks up light snow midweek, then another round late week that could bring 2 to 5 inches, possibly more if trends shift north or intensify. And then early March becomes the wild card. Now layer in the temperature swings because this is not just a snow story. It's a volatility story. Arctic air gripping the East Coast today retreats quickly. By midweek, warmth surges into the Great Plains and desert Southwest. Kansas is already pushing into the 70s, flirting with 80 degrees in late February. That is well above average. By Friday and Saturday, spring-like air spreads north into the Midwest and Ohio Valley. Highs climb into the 50s and 60s. Some snow will soften, but don't get too comfortable. Another Arctic surge may drop south early next week, reinforcing cold across the northern plains and Northeast. Meanwhile, parts of Texas could approach 90 degrees by the weekend. 90 degrees in Texas. Snowpack in New England. Severe storm risk in the Southeast. That is the contrast this pattern is producing. And as we move into March, we are stepping closer to peak severe weather season. When warm air surges north and lingering cold refuses to leave, the battleground sharpens. That's when stronger storm systems can produce both heavy snow on the north side and severe thunderstorms on the south side. This is not a quiet transition out of winter. It is an active, high-energy pattern with multiple moving parts. The Northeast is not done with snow. The Midwest still has rounds to go. The South could see severe weather return, and temperature swings will continue to whip back and forth. The key takeaway is momentum. The atmosphere is not stabilizing. It is cycling. If you live in the Northeast, expect additional snow chances. If you're in the Midwest, winter still has unfinished business. If you're in the South, severe season is closer than you think. The snow train is moving again. And over the next 7 days, nearly every region east of the Rockies will feel some version of this pattern, whether it's snow, storms, or sudden temperature swings. Stay alert. Watch the trends. Because in setups like this, small shifts can create big impacts, and the next headline-making storm could be only a few days away.